Okay, we're here at the True Pundit. Just a few minutes ago, they came out with this story. Paul Manafort convicted of 8 counts of fraud. Of course, I've been watching this and many others all day, waiting for the verdicts. I still think it is a witch hunt, just as President Trump has said. I think this was so unfair, and especially at the beginning, the way that they raided his home, the way that they have kept him incarcerated. I think all of it was totally against the rights as an American. But let's see what it says here. President Donald Trump's former campaign chairman, Paul Manafort, has been found guilty of 8 counts of financial crimes, a major victory for special counsel Robert Swan Mueller. I put in the Swan there, old Swanee. But jurors were unable to reach a verdict on 10 charges. And of course, Judge Elliott has been really lambasting the prosecution the last few weeks. He has not liked this trial at all, even bringing one of the prosecutors to tears, I understand. Manafort was found guilty of 5 tax fraud charges, 1 charge of hiding foreign bank accounts, and 2 counts of bank fraud. He faces a maximum of 80 years in prison. My gosh, 80 years in prison. Let's see, where are the A1s? Where is Imran Awan? Oh, that's right, he got off. Okay, well, I guess things are tough all over. Anyway, Manafort, he's no angel, probably. He has done some things. If you listen to George Webb, he says, well, he's sold submarines and weapons and so forth around the world and probably hasn't paid maybe some taxes. I don't know. But what does it have to do with Donald Trump? What did it ever have to do with Donald Trump? I can guarantee you one thing. I can guarantee you that the stories that are going to come out in the mainstream media, they're going to start talking about, well, why don't we start looking at Donald Trump's taxes and his family's taxes? Let's see what's there. And I can almost guarantee you that's next. Okay, I can almost predict it. But anyway, Manafort is in trouble. And will he get a pardon? Who knows? This is one of those political decisions, and if Trump decides not to, don't be too hard on him because they'll just absolutely beat him into the ground with it if he were to give him a pardon right now. Um, and it could be one of those things that you do at the last day of your second term. I don't know. But anyway, I really do feel for him and I feel for his family. I don't think what was done to him is right. This is not East Germany in the 1970s. You don't just barge into someone's house as the Stasi and try to get your wife out in her nightgown out in the lawn and see what they've got in the house. I thought this was the United States of America with the Constitution, but you know how that's going these days. Um, well, let's finish up the article here. It says the news came at the same time as Trump's former shyster lawyer, Michael Cohen, was in a New York federal court to plead guilty to multiple counts of campaign finance violations, tax fraud, and bank fraud. But of course, he has got an excuse. He said, in essence, the devil made me do it. He said, the candidate made me do it, basically. So he's trying to blame Trump for campaign malfeasance or campaign laws that have been broken. So, Press Secretary Sanders did not have immediate comment on the 2 actions. I don't have anything for you on that, she said. Let's look at a little more in just a second here. Hi, Tom. You look pretty good for your age. Okay, let's see here what we can get. Oh, it's CNN. I'm sure it's great. Manafort found guilty on 8 counts. I don't know that we need to go that far, probably. But there's the shyster lawyer there, Cohen. This guy is a real piece of work. Real piece of work. What kind of lawyer records their clients unless they know it, unless it's something for discovery? It's ridiculous. This guy he's a squirrel looking for a nut, okay? That's what's going on there. And Elliot knows it. The judge knows what's going on here. He's just trying to keep it within bounds. I'm glad that there was a mistrial and 10 counts. I'll be curious to see what counts those were. Uh, Mueller's probably stretching it to the limit. I don't doubt it one bit. Yes, I don't think we need to see you. You're not my favorite person. You're not bad looking, but anyway. Okay, let's go back to the pundit. If my computer will cooperate, please. Oh, not going to work. Let's see. See if we can go back. Just punch it back in here real quick. Come on, True Pundit. Come on. Come on, come on, come on. Okay. And there were a couple of other stories here. One of the stories that I had reviewed and wanted to share with you is this one. Rigged. Imran Awan gets no prison time in crooked FBI case. Now, I know a little bit of background on this story. As you know, the person known as Task Force was found dead, August 8th or 9th, somewhere around there. And her real name is Jen Moore. She's the one that actually had, sorry for the ads, folks. This is ridiculous on some of these websites. I can't seem to get rid of it. There it is. Anyway, she actually served. I put the video on my channel. It was toward the end of her life, and I did yesterday, I think it was, I put the last video that she did, informational video, about how all of the stuff that she was looking at was tied together in the deep state, all the child trafficking, the drugs, the you name it, everybody in the industry, everything that's tied together and how they make their money, and it's just something that it boggles the mind. I've been looking at some of the stuff for a long time, but it still boggles the mind. You know, I've always looked into things. I've been into the Kennedy assassination for probably nearly 30 years now, since I've taken a look at it. But anyway, this stuff is not over. We've got a lot yet to do. But this thing was rigged. Of course, no prison time in this case. You know, exactly what the man did. He's an IT guy. I'm sure he, did their Blackberries and these, rigged them up so that they could do their dirty deeds, along with some other tricks for the DNC. Who knows? But he got no jail time. Federal judges sentenced him to time served in 3 months of supervised release. Now, if my memory is correct, I do believe they tried to exit the country with some money and they got stopped at the airport last year. Could be. There's a couple of things here from Pappas. Awan in court mentions negative stories in the press about him. The judge is like, oh, poor baby. I promise you this second chance will not go to the waste. Judge says Awan had been hit with unfounded allegations. Poor guy, I tell you. He's just, and of course here we get a prediction by the great Thomas Paine, who is on True Pundit. It's a wonderful website. How is President doing? I think he's doing a great job. I think he's doing a great job. He needs help from a new Congress, right? And then here's another little story here. I don't want to take too much more time, but former IT aide deserves no jail time because Trump and Republicans were mean. Oh boy, we are truly in a time of strangeness, aren't we? And this deal, this story right here really rocked me a couple of weeks ago. I just could not believe it. The judge in New Mexico compound case accuses prosecutors of anti-Muslim discrimination. These people had, these dudes had trafficking going on. They know they did. This judge, this female judge out of New Mexico, I do believe, let him out on a signature bond. Can you believe it? Well, anyway, my time is over. So we'll see you next time. This is Bombastic Buster.